Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to the farm. It's another beautiful day here. Spring is in the air and we've got to start working on our upper garden. So this is what we call our corn garden or our upper garden. We rotate crops from our upper garden to our lower garden that's down by the house. So today what we're going to be doing is spreading a lot of manure. So that is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know, 15 tons of manure. And that's Buddy the dog. He's a good boy. Unload! Unload. Good dog. What a good dog, man. Awesome. So what we're going to be doing today, it's kind of going to be a two-part or a two-day series. We're going to combine it all into one video. But what we're doing is taking some of this black gold right here that's been composting for about 6 or 8 months, and we're going to spread it out on our garden that we've already spread wood chips and compost and all sorts of stuff. So we're putting soil amendments in our garden. All right, come along today as we have a little bit of fun with the skid loader and we have a little bit of fun with the tiller and some poop. All right, woo! Stoney Ridge Farm, Stoney Ridge, Stoney Ridge Farm. Woo! Buddy is a good dog. Load up. Load up. Watch this. Load up. Good boy. He just chills out, man. What a smart dog. I'm not going to raise him up too high, but he's liking the bucket. You like the bucket, buddy? Let's play with the dog before we get started. Do you like this bucket? Do you like it? He says, I'm not supposed to be around you when you're filming, Daddy. Come here. Yeah, good boy. He's a good dog, man. So what we have, and we have pups right now, by the way, guys. So we're going to be getting rid of those puppies pretty soon. So this garden has been tilled for and turned or disc plowed for the last 2 years. The first year we did nothing and we put chemical fertilizer down and we grew a garden of Silver Queen corn. It did okay, not really good. Last year we tilled in some mulch, okay, so some wood chips. This year, along with the wood chips that are rotting, along with the good soil that we have here, we're going to be adding these soil amendments. And what we have here, you'll see a little bit of rock dust in this because I mixed in a little bit of rock dust for mineral quality. And this is the composted manure, and that is composted horse manure right here, okay? It's been turned, I'm going to say 4 times now over the winter, and it's not hot anymore. In other words, when I bump into it with the skid loader, when I roll it, it doesn't get hot anymore. So it's completely composted. It's loaded with earthworms. It's loaded with nutrients and micronutrients, and that's what we're doing, is feeding the garden. Later on in the video, after we do this, it's going to take me probably 2 hours to spread all this, maybe longer. I always underestimate. But later on, we're going to hook up to an everything attachments tiller on the back of our 240 Massey Ferguson tractor, and we're going to till this in, okay? Now, I know a lot of folks are real big on the no-till. No-till, you got to no-till that. I can't spread this on this garden plot and not turn it into the soil. This is a soil amendment. It's not something that I'm adding to the top of the soil. It's a soil amendment. So we're going to build this, and eventually we'll get away from tillage. But for right now, we can't no-till plant a garden this size. Or we could, but it just wouldn't make any sense. So what we're going to do is build the soil again this year. And we'll probably build it again next year. We'll probably put some more amendments in the soil next year. The garden down by our house, the other garden, I call it our vegetable garden. This is the corn garden. We're probably going to swap. We're going to rotate around where this might be the vegetable garden and that might be the corn garden. And that's to keep the bugs down. In other words, if we got squash bugs at the bottom of the hill, hopefully we won't have squash bugs at the top of the hill. We got to rotate our crops to keep the vermin down. So let's get busy. Let's hop on a little John Deere 250. I need a name for the little skiddy right here, dude. You guys help me name the skid steer, and that's a set of Grouser tracks on that skid steer. We installed those. They're loose. I know they're loose. We got new tires coming for the skid loader. I don't want to tighten them up on old tires. I want to tighten them up on new tires. That's what's up. Let's get busy. Unload. Good boy. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Good dog. Good dog. look at what this garden's gonna be like. So we basically raised the entire garden about 3.5, maybe 4 inches, and I actually moved the garden out. It was right here, and now it's right there. So tomorrow, because it's getting dark on us, it's supposed to rain just a little bit, and I wanted it to rain just a little bit. It's gonna sprinkle a little bit tonight. It's gonna wet this down just enough to keep the dust down, and we're gonna kick butt on this. Maybe get the Ventrac out and smooth it over just a little bit. It's a little bit rough, and then we're gonna get on it with the tiller tomorrow. So we'll see you guys in the morning. The sun's shining. It's the next day, man. It's gonna be almost 80 degrees today. I'm gonna be busting a sweat. So what we did last night after I got done with the camera and the drones and all that is I took the Ventrac tractor and I raked all this out smooth with the landscape rake, Rakey Bobby right there, and the rake on the front of the Ventrac. Now, first thing we have to do is get our big tool rack off the back of our Massey Ferguson 240 tractor. I want to talk to you about it real quick and then I'm going to drop it. So the big tool rack has 4 sets of casters on it. It's what we use to keep our chainsaw stuff. That way when we get ready to go out and do some chainsaw work, we can just grab the rack and roll out. So we can put our firewood on it, and we can also use it for storing our tools. So what we're gonna do is drop the big tool rack and push it over to the side. We'll pull out the Massey Ferguson, hook it up to the tiller, and get busy tilling. Your question, will the big tool rack roll on gravel if you store it in a gravel area? Absolutely, right there it sits. We're gonna back up, hook up to our tiller, and get busy tilling. So let's talk a little bit about what we have here, and I'll tell you where to get it. So this is the Everything Attachments ER062 tiller, rototiller. It's around a 5.5 to 6 foot tiller. I think it might be 62 inches. So the unique thing about this Everything Attachments tiller is that it has a kickstand on it. So we had another tiller here on the farm and it did not have a kickstand. So whenever you disconnect a rototiller from your tractor, it inevitably wants to fall over either this way or that way. Typically not back, most likely forward. So Everything Attachments came up with this little critter right here, and it's fairly unique. There's a pin you pull out and you flip up right there. So you flip up your little kickstand, slide your pin back in, and you're in good shape. You're ready to rock and roll. What we're gonna do here, I'll take you over to the garden and show you, and then we'll put the tractor to work. I know a lot of you are probably like, hurry up, get to work. Let me show you what we're doing. So we're gonna go over this entire garden spot 4 times with the tiller. What I'm really trying to do is work this manure into the soil. I want to work it in and work it in. What we did last year was we put wood chips on this garden. The soil is getting better. It's a little bit acidic right now, so we're putting more manure on it, which means more acid, okay? We've got to give our manure time to compost and time to break down so it's not so acidic that it kills everything that's planted in it. So what we've done with our manure is we've let it age right about a year, maybe a little bit longer than a year, and we're going to till that into the soil. Will this garden explode with growth this year? I'm not positive whether it's going to explode with growth or whether it's going to need to age just a little bit longer. You can't just drop seeds in the soil and expect your plants to be successful and expect your gardening to be successful. So stay tuned to the channel. Please jump in and subscribe. There'll be lots more good gardening information for you in case you want to raise your own food for your own family. And that's what this is all about. baby. That garden looks good, man. Holy cow. Look at that. Super awesome. I just couldn't help myself. You see this light area right here? This is newly tilled land, and this is the land that's had amendments put on it. Stay tuned for a future video. We're going to be using the row bedder. This is the Everything Attachments row bedder. It's super awesome. It makes a bed for you to plant in. So we'll take all this loose dirt and we'll make beds, individual beds all the way up through there. If you want a link to all this stuff in the video description, there'll be a link down below. This is from Everything Attachments, and so is that. Stay tuned for a future video. We're planting gardens, we're getting spring fever, and we're having some fun here on the farm. We'll see you next time. All right? Woo!